A movie in Universe 6 is already a reality in the Dragon Ball Super universe, and this will open the way for a new concept of the race and revelations that we fans need to understand. Now that we truly know who the Scions are, we have to understand where they came from. An incredible movie that will open the Universe 6 arc in the Dragon Ball Super manga. Are you ready? Come with me, and already subscribe to the channel. Leave your like, and activate the bell. Don't forget to share this video with your friends as well. Universe 6 was introduced to us shortly after we learned about the gods of destruction and also the angels in the movie Battle of Gods, and it is the twin universe of 7, where the Z warriors live. And by a great coincidence, Beerus' brother is the god of Universe 6, Champa. So after all this, we also discovered about the Scions of Universe 6, who were not like those of Universe 7. They had not been corrupted, not by the power of Ozuru, which with elite training can be controlled, but they were not corrupted at heart to destroy and conquer planets. The warrior race there is more peaceful than that of Universe 7, which ended up destroying itself with that. But after rising again, they continued to commit the same atrocities, and because of that, Beerus allowed Frieza to destroy planet Vegeta, not giving them a chance for the imbalance they could bring to the universe. And since we had the Champa tournament, where Vegeta made a pupil, and also the Tournament of Power, where Cabba appears again, along with 2 other Scions, Kale and Caulifla, and Vegeta still has the request from Cabba to fulfill, which is to visit Universe 6, where he would go to planet Sadala, the original planet of the Scions. That would be the premise of the movie. A clash more about Saiyan pride than a battle itself. More of a learning experience, especially for Vegeta rather than Goku. So, it would be the first movie to give greater focus to the prince, and he certainly deserves it a lot. Then we have part of the Tournament of Power, where Frieza betrays Frost. Frost belongs to the same species as Frieza, which never had an official name in the manga, but is generally called the Frieza race or Metamorph race. Just like Frieza, Frost has multiple forms. The base form, the final form, and a form similar to what Trunks used against Cell, full of muscles. Physically, Frost is practically a clone of Frieza, with a bluer color, instead of Frieza's white and purple. At first, he presents himself as a noble diplomatic and heroic warrior who solves conflicts in his universe and seeks peace. This causes confusion and even some admiration from the characters of Universe 7, especially for being so different from Frieza. But after that, his mask fell, and it was in the tournament that something happened. Frieza showed his golden power, saying that if he trained, he could reach that form. Then he betrays Frost, who tries to attack him from outside the arena and is erased right there. Since Frost was erased directly by Zeno, and not as part of Universe 6's elimination, the question is whether he would be included in Android number 17's wish, who was the last one standing in the arena. But the answer is yes, Frost was restored along with Universe 6. Even having been erased by Zeno, number 17's wish covers all living beings of the erased universes, and Frost was part of Universe 6. So, even though his exclusion was special, the wish was broad enough to bring him back to life, along with Hit, Caulifla, Kale, Cabba, and the others. This is also indirectly confirmed by official sources and Dragon Ball Super encyclopedias, which mention that all warriors from the erased universes returned, without exception. That said, we can understand that he would indeed be the perfect plan for introducing this saga in Universe 6 through this movie, which could be a parallel between him and Frieza, who destroyed the Scion's planet Vegeta at the beginning of Dragon Ball Z. So Frost would be kind of the villain here, but much stronger because of his race and everything he saw in front of Frieza. It would be the perfect test to see how the Scions of Universe 6 would react to this extinction threat, and all this during Vegeta and also Goku's visit in the movie. Besides that, they could include Broly, who knows, in this movie. It would be cool for the 3 pure-blooded Scions to go to planet Sadala, and Frost, having had a mini training with Frieza before being betrayed, knows he can go very far, and that will be the motivation of revenge for the movie. We will see how strong Frost will get. Maybe a form beyond Golden. He could start with that, showing that regardless of where it is, the Frieza race is very strong and has enormous potential. But judging by the Scions there, who even have greater potential than the Scions of Universe 7, it may be fair to say that Frost has greater potential than Frieza. I'll talk more about that soon. The context now is where this movie will stop. It will bring internal conflicts for Vegeta, possibly seeing his race being eliminated again, and this could emphasize his ultra ego, and he will gain a new form, An evolution of Ultra Ego as it was with Super Saiyan Blue, the Blue evolution, making even Goku and Broly respect him more as a natural leader who puts his race and pride above all and will fight so that this does not happen in Universe 6. That said, this movie would be incredible, possibly having more about the Saiyan race and more discoveries about the Frieza race in the middle of all this, from Frost's side, telling how it would be how it is, and maybe even having a King Cold from China and even his brothers referencing Cooler. Who knows, it could be him who becomes canon in this movie too, but from another universe. That would be insane, especially since Dragon Ball's story has always been a dance between warrior races and extraordinary individuals, but few comparisons are as intriguing as the parallel between the Scions and the Frieza race, and we want to know more about them. Both groups have an almost symbiotic connection with war, domination, and constant growth, but each follows this path differently. While the Scions evolve through suffering, overcoming, and inner conflict, the Frieza race seems to have been born almost perfect, with raw power that defies common sense, and an evolution that, when it happens, is as fast as it is brutal. And within this universe of comparisons, the emergence of the Scions from Universe 6 and Frost as a counterpart to Frieza ignites this fascinating discussion. Could the raw potential of this new universe even surpass the icons of Universe 7? The Scions of Universe 7, led by Goku and Vegeta, carry a history of bloody battles, tribal pride, and an archaic warrior culture. From the beginning, it was clear they depended on extreme experiences to evolve. Goku only reached Super Saiyan after the loss of Krillin on Namek. Vegeta had to sink into his frustration, pride, and envy to achieve the same feat. Every new Saiyan transformation in Universe 7 always came as a result of trauma, extreme training, or pure obsession. It's as if pain were the essential fuel for the species, something almost biological. The Scions of Universe 6, like Kaba, Caulifla, and Kale, present a completely different approach. They are calm, more centered, and don't carry that destructive past. They live in a modern, organized society, without conquered planets, without genocide under tyrannical command. And perhaps because of this, their evolution is more fluid, less blocked by internal conflicts, kind of like the hybrids Trunks and Goten, with more cells in themselves, and with an enormous capacity to learn quickly. When Caulifla reaches Super Saiyan with just a few instructions, or when Kale reveals her Berserker mode without even understanding what is happening, we see that there is a natural ease there, almost a genetic predisposition to reach states that the Scions of Universe 7 only accessed with enormous suffering. It's as if the race has evolved, refined over time, more emotional lightness, more internal control, and this can represent a leap not only in power, but in biological efficiency. This contrast between evolution forced by pain and evolution spontaneous by instinct opens space to reflect on the race of Frieza. Unlike the Scions, members of Frieza's race are born with destructive power of absurd proportions. Frieza himself had never trained in his life, and yet was the strongest being in the universe until Goku and company began to reach him. It was only after his return in Resurrection that he trained for the first time for 4 months and reached the golden form, something that shocked even the gods of destruction. What does this tell us? That biologically, his race is far above the universal average, but pride, arrogance, and lack of necessity prevented him from exploring this potential. He is a sort of genius who never studied, because he always got top marks without trying. But when he starts training seriously, like when he appears as Black Frieza, after 10 years in the time room of another universe, he becomes something so monstrous that not even Goku and Vegeta together can touch him. Now think about Frost, who is from the same race, has the same genetic traits, started with a calmer, almost heroic appearance, but revealed himself as a manipulative, cunning, ambitious figure, only not more than Frieza himself because of his own history. Frieza, in this respect, has the upper hand, because he acts from the shadows, lies, deceives, seduces with words. But unlike Frieza, who ignored training until recently, Frost may have the spirit of a learner disguised as a wolf in sheep's clothing. He was bothered to see that Frieza was more powerful. He resented it, and it was precisely this discomfort that may have planted in him the desire to grow. At a certain point after the tournament in Dragon Ball Super, Frost tries to train to achieve his own version of the golden form, even though he does not master it well. This shows something important. He wants to surpass his own limits. And this, in the world of Dragon Ball, is the first step toward true evolution. And This movie could bring him golden, and even more advanced. I don't believe more than Frieza, because the black form is overwhelming, but it will be something that will certainly make Vegeta have to awaken to it, and it will be an introduction for Frieza after this journey in Universe 6, which still has much to be worked on in the manga after the movie. Now, if we combine all this with the natural potential of Frieza's race, the instinct for growth of the Science of Universe 6, and Frost's silent ambition, along with the humiliation he endured and kept to himself, we begin to see a real scenario where Frost could indeed one day surpass Frieza. Because, unlike the tyrant of Universe 7, who spent ages trusting in his own superiority, Frost lives in the shadows. He needs to prove himself. He has anger, desire, thirst for revenge. If he could find a mentor or training method similar to Frieza's in the Time Room, or even follow his own path mixing intelligence, strategy, and physical improvement, he could develop new forms never seen before. Maybe even something like a Frost Black, with unique characteristics, but I think they would bring something else. Even being a movie, it is still early for him to surpass Frieza. That would be insane and unfeasible for Goku, Vegeta, and the Science of Universe 6. What defines power in Dragon Ball is not just blood, but the desire to break limits. The Science of Universe 6 have shown that there are faster and more intuitive ways to evolve. Maybe Frieza's race also has a similar evolutionary line, and Frieza has only just begun to explore it. If Frost manages to find this path before being destroyed again, he could become a threat even to the gods of destruction. After all, what Frieza did in 10 years of training shows that these people have absurd potential, and being of the same blood, Frost has the raw material. What he lacked was the shock of defeat, the direct confrontation with his own inferiority, and he already had that. Now he has a motive, and motive, in Dragon Ball, is what transforms a nobody into a legend. In a universe where the Scions have become gods, a warrior of Frieza's race still has room to surpass them if he knows how to walk his own path. Frost may not be the most powerful villain today, but perhaps he is the most unpredictable, and that, as we've seen before, is the kind of threat the universe takes seriously, and it would be the perfect script for this new movie and this new cycle. And maybe in the future, Frieza himself will be part of this saga in the manga after the movie, and unite with Frost, and say it was all just a plan for the future. In Dragon Ball Super, anything can happen, we just have to wait.